Hi, everyone. Welcome to Words with Wista. Welcome to my not so personal diary where I talk about pop culture, politics, internet chaos, and any messiness going on in the world or whatever lives rent free in my head. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's messy, and sometimes it's serious. Either way, you're here hearing my thoughts out loud. If you're a part of the Wista gang, part of the Wista crew, or if you call yourself a Wista warrior, welcome back. I missed you. I missed you so much. Oh my God, I did. And if you are a new listener, as in the words Pop Smoke, welcome to the party. You guys, we are so close to that 200 episode mark, which is so crazy that, like, if you think about it, we might as well just do a life update as well. So, we all know that the 2016 challenge is going on. I don't know if you guys know, but this podcast actually started in 2016. A lot of people are like, oh, why are you not going to share your 2016 challenge? Girl, a 2016 challenge with me is going to look like my before and after photo from weight loss. All you're going to see me is my head's down in some textbooks from college, on my computer, probably with a microphone in my hand, in the library where me and my best friend Fred used to record the show when it was called Let Me Tell You Something. And then you'll probably see me lifting weights at CrossFit. That's all I did. I was too focused on the books and the gym. That's it. You see how you guys were all about like partying and everything? I was in the gym before y'all were even upping up your protein. So please, we are not the same. But this 2016 challenge, and you guys are saying, oh my God, yeah, it was the best year of the world. It definitely was not the best year. 2016 was the year that Donald Trump was nominated as the president of the United States. That was his first term. Muhammad Ali passed away. Prince passed away. Also, let's not forget that was the same year where we found out that people were dressing up as clowns and trying to harass people. Wasn't that the same year the It movie came out? Either way, but still, it was not even that great of a year. I see so many people sharing, oh my God, yeah, 2016 was that year. That means you peaked in 2016. I'm sorry, but if you peaked in the 2010s, ooh, girl, oh no. That's why I talk to people and they're like, oh my God, I miss my 20s. Don't take me back there. Don't take me back there. Please don't take me back there. Do not take me back there. I get it. It's nostalgia just because that was way before the pandemic. But let's not forget about all the crazy things that happened that year specifically. And I feel like the people who can really reminisce about 2016 were the people that were out of college. Like the true grown adults that had just gotten their first job and they're like engaging with club culture specifically. Because I see some of y'all posting your little 2016 challenge. Y'all were in high school. Y'all were freshmen in college. Girl, some of y'all were in middle school. Don't do that. Don't do that. That was not cute. That was not cute. I think maybe you'll probably have like one picture of me at a college party. But other than that, no. No, but that really showed our age. And then I did notice some of y'all were like, oh my God. Oh my God, I was so skinny. I thought I was fat back then. I'm not gonna lie. Even when I see certain pictures, I'm like, dang. For me, when I look at pictures of the past, I'm like, ooh, I should have stopped at this plate. But still, it really goes to show you when you reminisce about the past and seeing the difference in the trends too. Because if you even think about it, even when it comes to like the fashion trends, that was when Kim Kardashian was at her peak and all you guys were wearing those damn freaking heels and you guys would put the socks over the heels and act like they were Yeezy boots and everything like that. That's when people were wearing the dad hats. That's when Bryson Tiller had like one of his biggest peaks of his career. Let's also not forget that was when we saw a major peak when it came to Afrobeat. You were hearing Skin Tight by Mr. Easy, Leg Over by Mr. Easy. You had all those WizKid songs. Drake did a collaboration with WizKid. Even at that era, we had Hotline Bling. And then Drake thought he was Jamaican, which, it is what it is. But either way, you could not pay me to post anything from 2016 other than the OG logo of this podcast. That's it. That's all it is. Because I was in the books and in the gym and in the library acting like it was the podcast studio when it wasn't. And I think there's an episode where me and my friends almost got kicked out of the library. I think it's called We Almost Got Kicked Out of the Library featuring our librarian. It's on there. You should listen to that. Throwback, yes. But still, 10 years and then also about to hit 200 episodes. Oh my God, you guys, I'm going to cry. I'm going to tear up when we hit that 200 episode mark because really, it really goes to show you, you always got to believe in yourself and just know that everything's going to work out in your favor and you'll start seeing the fruits of your labor. Yes, certain things do take time, but when you start seeing everything you've worked hard for really coming to fruition or some of the things that you've always imagined happen, girl, all you can say is, man, you guys thought I was crazy, but I was not crazy. All I'm going to say is always bet on yourself. You're talking to somebody who's been on a weight loss journey for like what? Freaking, or took my weight loss journey 10 years. And at that freaking, what, 10-year, 11-year mark, boom, everything started coming in together. I'm the type of person, for me, people might think, oh yeah, her stuff takes time. But when things take time to come in and happen to your life, it's going to be there for the rest of your life, right? As in, the journey to get to that destination might take a while, but there's longevity for it, which is why I'm a firm believer of just focus and develop your craft because people will see the growth. People will see the growth to how it started and to where you got to that destination, regardless of what you're doing. Because in the end of it, it's your journey, not that person's journey. And also, I have to remind people too is stop comparing your journey to others. Yes, some people are going to get that quick shoot up, boom, right then and there. But I've seen it tumble down real fast as well too, which is another thing as well. So just realize that the journey getting to where you're meant to be is really just the anticipation for when it pops off, regardless of what it is. If you want to do corporate, you want to be a head executive, when you get there, just know there's another destination when you get to that current destination. And that's what I can say for sure. Even when it comes to delays specifically, as someone who's been in situations where they've been delayed, I'm always grateful for delays. I know a lot of people are like, oh, what's the delays? No, I need it right now. Sometimes I will say this, the delays are blessings in disguises because those delays help you either meet people or go through something that helps you through when you get to that destination. And I can personally say a lot of the delays that I've been through, regardless if it's career, weight loss, life, whatever it is, has always helped me out when I get to the next step of whatever I'm trying to achieve. It's always been beneficial for me. I'm always going to tell somebody this. And I got to bring up astrology as somebody with tons of Scorpio placements and also with a Capricorn moon, a Saturn in Pisces in the 11th house, and Aquarius 10th house, as in delays when it comes to shifts in careers, friendships, goals, and aspirations. Any single time a shift, a layoff happens, I'm always like, you know what? I'm going to be laughing about this in 6 months. I think I talked about when I got laid off from that job back in 2024. Right after that, things at that place started crumbling down. Or even with that, a place where things didn't work out, guess what? The company shut down. People had to go to another place. And I remember there was a place I had interviewed with at that time when I was trying to leave that place. They ghosted me. And guess what, you guys? When that place shut down, all the people went to the place that I interviewed with that I was trying to go to escape from them. They ended up working there. You have to see these things as like protection. Delays is sometimes protection for you. Or just, hey, certain things have to happen before we get to the next phase. Just like I tell people this too, you want a new job sometimes, and I have to say it, somebody's going to have to get fired for that job to open up for you. Somebody's going to have to get laid off for that job to open for you. Even when it comes to the aspect of, okay, you want to buy a new house. Somebody might have to move out of that house for you to move in. Or somebody might have to lose that house for you to get that house. So you got to think about it as that as well. I know some people are like, oh, so you're so optimistic, this and that. I try to be optimistic through every situation just because you just never know. You never know what you're being protected from, but then also you just never know the outcome when it goes through it. Even for like me and my friends, you're talking about like 2024 and 2025, where like 2024 for me was just throw it in the trash. Okay. You know how like the dream says just throw it in the bag? Just throw it in the trash. Oh, oh, oh. Just throw it in the trash. But then for me, 2025 was a bridge year. 2025 was a bridge for a lot of people that I know, specifically for people around my age group, but then also those who are creatives or even delving into different career phases, right? But then now with 2026, we're starting to see all the work we put in for that bridge year, starting to see those blessings or even just the signs and synchronicities coming in. And I know I'm being Delulu right now with the Delulu talk, but all I'm going to say is don't give up on yourself. That's what I'm going to say. Don't give up on yourself. Because in 6 months, you're going to be like, dang, Wista was right. And I'm always right. Because sometimes I'll be telling you guys a lot of things that I predicted, or even I predicted with a friend, they're happening right now. Okay. It's totally fine if 2016 was not a good year for you. 2016 was not a good year for me either. Okay. Not me almost saying 2026 was not a good year for you. You see, I had to cut myself first. I said, hold on, girl. Fix that language up. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that rant. Let's get on to these topics because we do have quite a few topics to talk about, and I think these are very much important. So let's just go down to the spiel. We come from many different places. We come from many different races. We come from many different ethnicities. We come from many financial backgrounds. But what brings us together? Politics and the economy. Let's talk about what the Trump administration is fucking up this week. Okay, well, Donald Trump officially says that we shouldn't have an election. He says that there's no point in having midterm elections or there's no point in having elections, period. I don't know if you guys know, but Steve Bannon, who was one of the advisors for Trump during his first administration, did a whole interview and talked about this shit was planned out. This shit was planned out. They're trying to find a way so they don't have to do an election. They're trying to find a way so Trump could stay in office. And this is sounding very much like a dictatorship. Is this what's going to happen? Just know the American people are going to revolt. We're already hearing with the fact that the administration is putting tariffs on items that are being shipped from certain countries in the EU or countries that simply do not agree with him wanting to take over Greenland, right? That means starting February 1st, let's say, for example, you shop at ASOS or you shop at, let's say, these are mainly like UK brands, Primark, or what is that brand called? Stradivarius. I know I pronounced that incorrectly. So whatever you get shipped from you, even if you buy something from Farfetch and it's shipped from Spain or France, there's going to be a tariff on it. I think it's like what, a 10% tariff. And then in June, if things don't align still, then it's a 25% tariff. So think about, I don't know, I'm just thinking because I just saw this on Farfetch. You know, I like to window shop sometimes. You have I'd say, a Fendi bag that's around $2,000, right? You purchase it now. By the time that February 1st hits, 10% within it, right? And then don't forget the other tariffs that were already added within too, because a lot of these brands, these companies are already adding in tariff prices and customs. And then let's say you purchase it in June 2026, there's a 25% added within. So please be mindful when you decide to purchase overseas. And also don't forget too is there's a certain amount of money you spend that you have to pay back to customs just because they have like a pricing limit. So be mindful for that too, because let's say, for example, you pass that limit, then the U.S. Postal Services gets to hold your package until you pay them a certain amount. So think about the fact that this man is implementing all these laws and doing all these theatrics and dramatics and just being a menace to the whole entire world. Do you think that the people in his party are going to get elected? No. This is why he's saying these things, because he knows damn for sure he's going to get prosecuted, or most likely he's going to get impeached. He literally said that to Republican leaders. He's like, oh yeah, if we don't win midterms, I'm getting out the door. And now we're also hearing for the fact that Republicans are saying that they have enough Republican votes for impeachment. So that's another telltale story for you right then and there why this man doesn't want another election. Because let's be real, with everything that's happened in a year, that administration has done so much damage within a year that we've seen previous presidents do. So I don't know what to tell you guys about this. All I can say is go out and vote, because we see so many things that they're trying to do to prevent people from voting Mail-in ballots. What else? They're trying to say that people were voting under folks who were unalived or they passed away. What? And now you have Elon Musk basically saying that he wants to get involved with elections again. Once again, you see, once again, pay attention. Pay attention. This is why I tell people pay attention to your local news, but also just do a little Google search. You'll find out a few things and a few loopholes what they're trying to do to make sure that this man or even just the radical folks within that party try to end up winning. But we're also seeing the fact that there are people from MAGA that are stepping down and they don't want to get involved because they do know their chances of winning is so low. Because think about it. People are complaining about the economy. People are complaining about prices going up. I have a friend who, she's like a top manager at a retail store. And she was telling me, for example, ladies, those little bras and panties y'all like to wear, the little sexy ones y'all like to wear on Instagram or for your man or for your girl or for your OnlyFans page. She was telling me some of these bras are going up from $48 to $56. That's almost $10 more. That's close to a $10 upcharge for a bra. And bras are not cheap. Well, you know, I'm part of the itty bitty committee, so I don't really have that issue. But still, bras are not cheap. And then you're telling us too is underwear prices is going up. Not only with that, remember those damn biscuits I told you guys about at ShopRite? The ones that used to be $6 and then they went up to $8. Well, I'm finding out since they are like German biscuits and tariffs and everything like that, I'm finding out that the ShopRite is actually choosing not to even sell it anymore. And they're like, if we do sell it, just know you'll be paying like $11. Oh, no, honey. Yeah, I'll go learn how to make my own biscuits. I'm good. You know what? This will help even more with weight loss. I'll just stay away from the biscuits. Thank you. Thank you for upping up my diet. But still, you see what I mean, you guys? This is crazy. And y'all want this man to be here for an entirety? Hell freaking no. No, thank you. Get rid of this administration. Like Drake said in Mob Tie, sick of these. Get rid of these, please. In addition to that, because we are like moving all over the place, I don't know if you guys know, but Trump's agriculture secretary, Brooke Rawlings, basically is like telling Americans that you could eat a $3 meal. Because remember how I just complained about the grocery stores? Well, she's saying that you just need one piece of broccoli, one piece of chicken, and just a little thing right there, and you're fine. You're good to go. Hate to break it to you, but the American diet and how we've provided food and meal plans is not similar to what you see in Europe, right? They have smaller portions. You cannot tell somebody who is used to eating supersized portions, oh, well, you need to dumb it down. Also, let's not forget too is the fitness culture specifically, which I think how many grams of protein they're trying to advertise for people to have, which is a lot. Like we are coming from a culture where now that we're very much into fitness routines, people are having up to like what 160 to 200 grams of protein a day. And you want them to eat one stalk of broccoli, a small piece of chicken breast, and just one little carb. Make that make sense. But then you want them to clock into these jobs and work at least like what? 40 and depending on people's careers up to like 70 hours a week, and a $3 meal is going to help out. Make it make sense. And even with the fact that you guys are promoting for people to eat vegetables, this and that, but we're finding out farmers can't even farm because they're not even getting the funding for it, which farmers, that's on y'all because y'all voted for this man. We're also hearing the fact that poultry prices are going up. Let's not forget, there are chicken factories that had to get rid of certain chickens because of bird flu. I don't know if you guys know. I think, which factory was it? I think it was Tyson or one of the major chicken factories basically laid off all of their freaking workers. So what's next? And then even with that as well too, how are you going to promote $3 meals when the junk food is cheaper than what you're saying for these $3 meals? Some people are like, you know what? They'd rather go get tater tots than go buy some sweet potatoes. I had to say that. I heard somebody legit say that because of just pricing for things, right? So add that as well too. You guys are also trying to look up people and saying that, oh, well, they're doing EBT fraud or food stamp fraud. But the people who actually qualify for it, you're not even letting them qualify for it. You have certain communities who are basically grabbing up the welfare. We're hearing about people having 3 social security cards and everything like that. But then you have a single mom who's working her ass off trying to feed her kids, can't even qualify for EBT. But you got some of these motherfuckers out here, full blown families living in these modernized homes with these pickup trucks and all these big ass cars, and they're going to like your local Whole Foods swiping up the EBT. May that make sense to me. So does a $3 meal exist? And this is why I said when Trump became president, the second round last year, I literally said to the food influencers, stop going to these luxury restaurants and start going to one of these smaller places and promote that. But then also start promoting struggle meals, because we're going to see a lot of that content, right? You got to start promoting those struggle meals, because if the head of agriculture is telling us that we need to have $3 meals, be creative with it. Use it as a point to make some content. But $3 meals, a stalk of broccoli and a small slice of chicken breast, no seasoning, because I'm guessing seasoning has to add on to the pricing too. Is that really going to be filling for somebody? Especially if they work in like a very strenuous job where they have to pick things up. Like if they're a construction worker, girl, they're going to fucking faint. Gosh, oh my God, this economy, man, and this administration, just a freaking hot mess. Just a hot mess. Can we please get to 2028 already, please? I don't know if you know, but this is mainly like East Coast, upper New England area. There is a New Hampshire Republican that got caught advocating for segregated schools. Am I surprised from this? No. If you are from the East Coast, specifically lived around the New England area, this is typical New Hampshire behavior. Typical New Hampshire behavior. Not surprised about this. Will I ever be surprised? Nope. I'm pretty sure there's other people in other states, even in blue states, that probably think like this person as well too. So I'm never surprised by it as well. Look who's the freaking president. Look who's the freaking president. Never surprised. Disappointed. Yep. But am I surprised? No. And that's what I can say for sure. New Hampshire. Is there anything great about New Hampshire other than it's tax-free? That's it. But then again, too, I know a black girl that want to move to New Hampshire so badly, but girl, she got a hard wake soft life. But that's a conversation for another time. I hope she's not listening to this. Hey, girl, I missed you, but get it together. Now let's delve into immigration. We know there's a lot of conversations about immigration, even illegal immigration, even the conversations about ICE. Well, if you guys don't know, the U.S. is going to stop issuing immigrant visas for 75 countries such as Jamaica, Nigeria, Haiti. There's just a bunch of countries in the list, even Yemen. Any country that Trump had on the no travel list, they're involved in it too. I do notice that the Dominican Republic is not included in it. And I know a lot of Dominicans are like, oh, we're not included in it because guess what? The U.S. is doing business in your country. They're trying to take, like, that's a conversation for another time, okay? Okay, mommy? Okay? My hermanos, we'll have that conversation another time. But just know there's certain countries on that list that were specifically black and brown countries. I think they did toss in, like, some Eastern European countries, kind of like the Eastern European countries that, like, their community just doesn't care for just because it's not bringing in them any gain. It's like, ooh, okay, y'all, yeah, no, thank you. So think about that as well. In addition to that too, which is so crazy, and I have to bring this up, as somebody who's worked at the United Nations, who's worked with CARICOM, I am disturbed and disgusted by how Caribbean countries, you guys love to do this. What is up with you guys? So you guys are going to be taking U.S. migrants that they're trying to get rid of in the States and take them to your country. But y'all are not going to be taking Haitians, especially St. Kitts. Y'all are not taking Haitians, but y'all are literally on the list of countries that they're not going to be giving visas to. Make it make sense. seeing that a bunch of these countries are agreeing to this. Once again, not surprised at all. And I just want to say this, there was a certain point where CARICOM was led by Haitians. I was actually there when it happened. And a lot of these world leaders are hot messes. They are. Even to have the conversations, a lot of these world leaders are hot messes. So I'm not surprised at all. I get it. Haiti is going through a lot of situations right now. People are going to migrate, right? People are going to leave wherever they're at to go give themselves a better living, right? Even when we heard about the whole rhetoric when they were trying to talk about the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, but then statistics and studies showed that the Haitians that were there were actually helping boosting the economy there. So, girl, once again, not impressed. And then it's the fact that the Prime Minister St. Kitts said that they have to check their trigger warning essay and like murder backgrounds, which is like, okay, I get that. But if you're saying that this administration is trying to get rid of all the bad guys, do you not think that the people they're sending to you might not be part of that listicle that you're trying to check through when it comes to the Haitians? I'm just trying to make it make sense. Because you said you don't want none of those people specifically who have done harmful things. What makes you think that the U.S. is not going to send the people who are doing some harmful shit to your country? And it's the fact that a lot of you guys are saying too, and some of these other smaller islands say, you guys don't want to be another Haiti, which is kind of crazy in the fact that outside the Caribbean and inside the Caribbean, Haitians are always the butt of the joke. But I keep having to remind people when it comes to the history of Haiti, the first free Black republic and the fact that they freed themselves helped free so many countries like Venezuela, Colombia. I could keep going down this list of how many people Haitians have helped free them from their colonizers, to the point where they had to pay the French back money. They had to pay the French reparations for freeing themselves. But then not only with that, the involvement of other countries, even certain financial institutes implementing themselves within that country. Yeah, girl, this is why whenever like there's like a Caribbean diaspora war and each island is like, we're the superstars of this, Haitians don't care. Haitians don't want to be the superstars of the Caribbean islands. Give that to Jamaica. Jamaica, y'all can have that. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear Justin Bieber or Ed Sheeran on a compa beat. I don't. I've noticed that when the Nigerians had like Ed Sheeran on the Peru remix with Fireboy DML, y'all love that. I didn't care for it. When Justin Bieber did the Sorry song, the Caribbean beat, Jamaicans, y'all was writing for that. Even when Chet Hanks was doing the whole like Jamaican accent, you're like, oh, no. Haitians don't want none of that. Even with the resurgence that I've noticed that now there's like a Haitian apology tour where I've noticed influencers trying Haitian food, like, oh my God, this is food. No. Thank you for the compliment, but you can stay right there. This is why every single time when I go on TikTok and I see like Haitians, oh, they can come to hang out with us and have free thigh with us because they're a white person that speaks some Creole. No. Don't forget about some of the crazy things these people have said about you and said about your country and said about your culture. That's all I gotta say. And when it comes to St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, as a Caribbean American, when it comes to countries that people think about when they think about the Caribbean islands, I'm going to name the top 7, right? And I'm just going to name it out of any order. Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. Where else? Barbados because of Rihanna. Trinidad because of Nicki Minaj. And I'm talking, when I bring up these celebrities, I'm talking about the general public, as in people who did not grow up around Caribbean countries, okay? Just saying. I could keep naming some more countries before I name St. Kitts. You know what? I'll name a country that starts with a Saint before I even name St. Kitts. St. Lucia, they speak Creole. Guadeloupe, Martinique, Montserrat, Guyana, Grenada, St. Thomas, St. Vincent. I could keep going before I even think about St. Kitts. But you know what? It is what it is. I see some Haitians mad about it. I'm like, girl, don't be mad about this. There's better things to be worried about. And you don't know what the U.S. is about to send to these countries. Also, I forgot about the Bahamas. I'm sorry, guys. And you know, Bahamian people, That's kind of like a beef because Bahamian people got issues with like some of the Haitian refugees, but we'll talk about like the anti-Haitian rhetoric within like the Caribbean countries because I sometimes it doesn't make sense to me. And then when it comes to like the francophone countries, I just want to say this as somebody who grew up francophone. The first place, any country that speaks Creole, let's be real, when they talk about speaking Creole, the first country they're gonna think about is Haiti. Just saying. Now I'm gonna shut up. Now I'm gonna shut up. But shout out to my francophone people too. Okay, je t'aime, Shelly. Thank you. In addition to us talking about immigration, we do have to talk about the FIFA World Cup because that's just around the corner. We know that the FIFA organization has been kissing Trump's ass and licking his booty hole to the point where they made him his own like FIFA World Prize, which is freaking crazy. Well, nearly 17,000 fans reportedly canceled their 2026 FIFA World Cup tickets just due to the boycott and safety concerns going on with ICE and everything like that, which makes sense because let's be real, there are international fans who enjoy watching soccer, right? Soccer is a worldwide sport. It's known worldwide, just like with basketball and everything like that. But really, I'm going to say this. The real bag, like if you really want to be with somebody, especially the ladies, you really want to be with an athlete that's making the big bucks, international soccer players, some of them making more than LeBron, just saying. But still, they have fans all around the world. So you're going to have people coming in from various countries that are probably on that no like visa list coming in to go watch the games and go cheer their favorite teams. But that puts them in danger because let's be real, some of those cities, don't be surprised if they have undercover ICE agents outside at these stadiums or in these stadiums trying to rile people up. So it makes sense just overall. But let's not forget too, like I said, this FIFA administration has been on this man's butt and trying to kiss his ass. Who wants to be involved with that, right? And then I wouldn't be surprised during these games if they even try to pick up the players as well too and do some shit to them. So pay attention to that. But I stand with the fans. Yeah, cancel those tickets. Let those stadiums be empty. Mess it up for the organization trying so much to like schmooze with the president. Like, ew. Now let's move on to like political, financial, just anything that does not have to do with this administration. So James Fishback. Ooh, what a last name. Fishback. Ugh. I would hate to have a last name like that. Well, he is actually a candidate for governor of Florida. And in his like proposal, if he were to be governor for Florida, he is coming out with something called a sin tax, which is basically proposes for OnlyFans models to pay a tax of like 50%. So I'm going to guess Mr. James Fishback is a super Christian, as in, you shouldn't be watching OnlyFans, this and that. He's probably one of those. I'm pretty sure he probably was talking to an OnlyFans girl, got rejected. So as a way for him to get his get back for being hurt, he wants to do this thing called sin tax. I would say this, pay attention to people who are like this because deep down inside, they're either DL or very much a sexual deviant. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's both or if he's one of them. And one of the top OnlyFans girls who literally called him out and was like, oh yeah, it's because you probably got rejected by one of us. So you're trying to get your get back. And it's like a sin tax. And I'm hearing about like a lot of these like Republican states have like these laws against pornography or even anything like that. Even like some of those states, you can't even get like sex toys shipped over there. It's like because the leadership there are probably the ones battling demons. I'm putting air quotes. They're battling demons. They're battling certain demons. Let's not forget, when all of them link up, what peaks up specifically? Hookup apps, Grindr, Tinder. Those things go up real high. Mike Johnson, I'm talking about you, sweet Mike Johnson. But still, a sin tax. My thing is, I thought you get taxed for OnlyFans regardless, because you know that's like your career. Like, don't you have to report that to the IRS? Like, I really genuinely want to know, because I thought like if you're a sex worker, like that's your job, are like you're reporting that to the IRS. Like, it's somebody who does sex work. Can you please let me know this? Because I know for influencers, they don't like whenever they get like paid, whenever we have to pay influencers, they got the full amount. And then that's the responsibility of the influencer to set aside a portion of that to be taxed. so they can pay that back when they do their taxes. Is that the same way when it comes to being OnlyFans or if you are a sex worker? I would like to know that, right? I would really like to know that. Please, somebody let me know this. Please. Or is that not the same thing? Because if you're getting a check from OnlyFans, does OnlyFans take out the tax? I genuinely want to know this. Please, somebody let me know this. So if you do OnlyFans, please just let me know. Please. Because I'm genuinely confused. And I know you can be like, what's the, you could just Google it. I can Google it, but I'd rather hear it from a person who's actually experienced in it to let me know. Okay? But then again, I feel like they would get taxed because a lot of the top OnlyFans girls that are in the States that like flaunt and show the wealth, the IRS is watching. Unless they're building a case, I'm just going to guess they either pay their taxes or OnlyFans takes out the taxes. But yeah, basically Mr. James Fishback is mad because an OnlyFans girl didn't want him. So as a way to run his campaign, he wants to pay a sin tax just because we know there are some people out there that are mad that there are women or men who are being sexually liberated with consent and protecting themselves. I know there's another group of people doing that caca, but I'm talking about the ones who are doing it correctly and they're making funding off of it. Okay. So that's what I can say for that for sure. A sin tax. Would you want to pay a sin tax, or would you want to live somewhere where there's a sin tax? If pornography, specifically OnlyFans, is sin tax, why can't we sin tax, let's say, for example, because y'all don't like it, alcohol, drugs? Since you guys are so afraid of marijuana too in these red states, what about a sin tax for marijuana when it comes to these dispensaries? Or is the sin tax specifically only for OnlyFans, but not in general overall sex work? Because let's not forget too is just because you're on OnlyFans doesn't mean you're popping your cooch. There are some people that sell art on OnlyFans. OnlyFans, yes, dominated by sex work, but there are people who are on there and they're just having conversations. So that's another thing as well too. Think about that. Because if you're calling it sin tax, if you're just selling art and you're on a platform, yes, the sex side of the platform is predominantly dominated, but are you getting a sin tax as well? There's a lot to unpack with that. Okay. Now let's move on to more financial situations, specifically regarding retail companies in the fashion and makeup space. Well, it's been announced that Saks Global, which is the company that owns Saks Off Fifth, Saks Fifth Avenue, Neiman Marcus, has filed for bankruptcy. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, well, file for bankruptcy. That means that, oh yeah, they're going to get rid of everything. No, they're filing for Chapter 11, not Chapter 7. So the company basically plans to reorganize their debt under the new owners because they do have a new ownership. But then also they're bringing in one of the CEOs that actually saved Neiman Marcus from shutting down overall. And they're just going to do a rearrangement, right? Let's not forget too, Saks basically owns some brands, some big money. I think you can compare this kind of like to Essence, the Montreal fashion-based brand that a lot of us shop with because they have like amazing sales. We thought they were going to shut down. I was like, oh yes, we're about to get a big Essence sale. We're about to be getting Margiela for like $50. And they're like, we got bought by a new owner. We're going to pay back all these companies that we owe money for. So for example, Saks owes Chanel $136 million. They owe them $136 million. And let's not forget, when it comes to like Saks, they don't only just sell Chanel like beauty. I'm laughing. I'm talking about Saks right now. Why did I get a text from Saks Fifth Avenue? The coincidence, but they might sell other items other than just Chanel beauty, right? They sell Chanel bags. They sell Chanel clothing depending on the store. Like if you live in Miami, you go to the Ball Harbor shops. The Saks in Ball Harbor will have the clothing and also the Chanel bags. If you go to Saks in the city, they'll also have the clothing, attire, and the bags as well. It really depends on the location. They owe Kering $59.9 million. Kering is one of the big major eyewear distributors in the world. As somebody who knows this, because I did work with an eye care brand, specifically it's called Safilo. They mainly work with brands like Marc Jacobs and everything like that. Yes, I was in fashion PR for a little bit. I know a few things. But Kering basically are the ones who distribute and create the sunglasses for Gucci and some other brands as well. So think about it. $59.9 million. And we don't know how long they owed this money. We don't know how long this money was owed. This could have been accumulated with some interest. We don't know these brands' is like deals when it comes to distributing their items within that specific department store, because there are also deals. So what's behind that as well too, which we'll see eventually. But Saks is trying to pay off this debt and make sure that they're still around, because let's not forget too is Saks also is partnered with a financial institute, because guess what? They have a Saks Fifth Avenue credit card. You have a store card, and then they have a major card as well too. So it's like you're trying to make sure you can balance this all out to still keep the legacy of the brand. But within that, what I'm not going to be surprised, which they're doing currently right now, Saks Off Fifth is kind of like Marshall's, but for Saks. So anything from previous seasons that did not sell, they go out to there and they're sold very much cheaper. It's kind of like an outlet. And Neiman Marcus actually had their own outlet called Neiman Last Act, Last Call, whatever. They shut that down when they were going through bankruptcy. Don't be surprised that a lot of like Saks Off Fifth stores end up shutting down, and then they just keep it as Saks Fifth Avenue, and they just put all the major sales on one page within their website, right? They're going to shut down all the low performing stores. So you're not going to see a Saks Off Fifth probably within like the next 3 years. They're going to get rid of that. They're probably going to combine some of the brands with it, not brands, but the conglomerates within amongst each other. For example, I have to bring up a brand like the Gap. Gap is owned by the same owners of Old Navy and Athletica. Don't be surprised if you can intertwine between the Neiman Marcus website, the Saks Fifth Avenue website, and then the Bergdorf Goodman. Because I forgot to mention, Bergdorf is also owned by Saks Global. But the thing is, which I can personally say, what they should drop out of the three organizations and just make it one conglomerate, Bergdorf. Let's be real. Bergdorf, yes, it's around, but it's kind of like a Henry Bendel, or even with the fact that Barney shut down, I'm surprised Bergdorf is still around. And is there a Bergdorf outside of New York? Or is it just in New York? Or should they just keep it like that, where they keep it mainly online and you just have that one high key store, which is in a major city? That's another option as well. But for a lot of you guys who are like, oh yeah, they're about to have this big liquidation sale. No, rest yourselves. Saks Fifth Avenue is still around. It's still going to be around. If you want to have like fun and get those sales, go look at the 9 Saks Off Fifth stores that they're going to shut down and go get your stuff there. That's what I can say for sure. I'm going to miss Saks Off Fifth because that's where I got a lot of my exclusive pieces. But hey, it is what it is. You'll just have to shop at the Saks Fifth Avenue sale section. Just know that sale is not going to be hitting like off Fifth. It's just not. But hey, it is what it is. At least you'll know that the folks who go from off Fifth, they're probably going to transfer them to like an official Saks store or offer those people packages, right? They're going to let them know, hey, we can transfer you to the bigger company, or you can take a severance, or you can get unemployment, which in the end of it, it depends on the company. Because I know some people who told me that like for like some companies, your severance is based on how many years you've been there. So let's say, for example, you've been working at Saks Off Fifth for, I'd say, like 7 years. So you just get a 7-week severance. It's either you just go transfer to another store, get on the unemployment, or look for a new job. That's what I can say for sure. So now moving on to the beauty space, Pat McGrath Labs is currently up for sale. So I don't know if you guys know, Pat McGrath is a very popular makeup artist. She is of Jamaican descent. She's from the UK. She has done so many like iconic makeup looks. She does have her brand called McGrath Labs that she ran herself. This is kind of the phase where a company gets so big to the point where, yeah, it can get bought out for billions of dollars. That puts her in the $1 billion legacy, but it depends on what brand. And we know so many times when these black owned businesses get bought out, the quality of the item just goes down. So I'm personally going to say this: before this company gets bought out, buy as many things as you can. Yes, Pat McGrath does sell her like eyeshadow palettes and her highlighter palettes for like $100+, but it really is worth the investment depending on how you use it, but then also your makeup skills as well too, because that has another thing to do with it as well. You could pay for $100 of like eyeshadow, but do you have the skills to do the $100 eyeshadow? That's another thing as well. But still, very much good formula. Amazing, amazing quality when it comes to this makeup. But it's like, okay, who's going to buy this brand? Is it going to go to a Revlon? Is it going to a L'Oreal? Where is it going to go? Because that also has a play of how the formulation is going to be involved. Also, is Pat McGrath going to still be the face and be part of the board? Is she still going to be the CEO? Is she still going to have a say with it? Is Pat McGrath going to get bought by Elf Cosmetics, kind of how we saw with Rhode getting bought out by Elf? That's another thing as well too. We'll just have to see how things play out. Personally, I feel like Pat McGrath should be bought out by a brand that owns like Gucci Cosmetics, that owns the Chanel Cosmetics, just because I feel like personally, this is just my opinion, I feel like it's up there with that. If you're telling me that her makeup is being used at high runway shows, it's being used within Fashion Week, editorial, Vogue magazine, Harper's Bazaar, you can put her within the company such as that just because of how acclaimed she is, but then also her ties within the industry when it comes to that. But that's just my opinion. And I would say the same thing if Danessa Myricks was selling her brand as well. Because I know some people be like, what about Danessa Myricks? Same thing as well too. She has experience for it. Because a lot of people don't realize too is when you own a brand and your brand is getting so big to the point where it's like, okay, let's try to expand. Conversations like that happens. But when you get to the conversations of the brand getting bought out, there's a lot of loopholes and things in those contracts where there should be a discussion of, do you still get to control certain things for your company? Do you still get to do this and that? I think that's the most important thing when you go into those boardrooms and have the conversation. Are you still going to be part of the board? Because the most important thing is, and a lot of people are like, oh, I want to be the CEO. No, you don't want to be the CEO. You want to be in the board. You want to be in the board because the real people who run it are the board, because they can kick you out of your company. They can kick you out of your company. The board is there because not only are they investors, but they're trying to make sure that the company is still ran ethically and there's money being made because they're investing into it. Which is why when Jeff Bezos stepped down from being Amazon CEO, he made sure he was in the board. You have to make sure you're in the board. And even if you're the CEO, make sure you're the board of your own company before you do anything as well. Now, let's move into true crime. So I do have an update. I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about that teacher from Chicago and her husband, Antoine. Her name was Linda Brown. Anton Brown, who was her husband, who I said, yeah, he probably did it or something like that. Well, sadly, they did find her body and it was found in Lake Michigan. And now they're about to do an investigation. Obviously, we know all the time when a spouse is missing or a spouse is found unalive, the first suspect we think is who? This person's spouse. So a lot of eyes are currently on the husband. We'll see what happens further with that. But yes, just an update. Her body was found in Lake Michigan. He is still going by the story that they were enjoying a movie the night before and he thought that she woke up and went to her acupuncture appointment. But still, certain things is just not making sense. And also the way he's reacting is like, it's giving the certain tactics in ways that we've seen how a husband who's unalive, their partner acts. similar to like a Brian Walsh, and then also similar to what we're about to talk about next. So I've noticed that this year and like a little bit of the half ending of 2025 has been like the trials of the husbands unaliving their wives. Well, there's a continuation case of a man who basically plotted with his au pair that he had an affair with to unalive his wife. But it was very much in a creepy BDSM way where he had basically used his wife as a catfish to attract somebody to come in, and was basically saying that she has like a kink, a BDSM, almost close to the point where she would like to like get her neck sliced and everything like that. Yes, very much visualized. And the person that was going to come in to obviously engage in that activity with the wife actually was unalived as well. So it was a double murder, right? I'm going to bring up the word. Why am I talking like I'm on YouTube sometimes? You know what? Maybe that's a sign. But still, this man basically had an affair with his Brazilian au pair, which I was watching the video of the au pair talking. Mind you, this girl is like, what, 26 now or 27? Close to that. This happened not too long ago. And I'm just giving you guys spark notes because I still do have to do some more digging into it. But if you don't know what an au pair is, an au pair is basically like a foreign exchange student, but different a little bit. So it's somebody who is from another country that comes to live with a family. In exchange of living in their house, they will basically be a form of childcare, like provide childcare to the children in that house, but then also do chores. Basically, you got a nanny. And in addition to that, that young lady was having an affair with the husband. And what I found out, this girl was getting paid $200 a week. Girl, you were getting paid $200 a week? You were taking care of these kids, fucking the husband, and you were only getting paid $200 a week? You were only getting $800 a month? Oh no, honey. Wow. You did all that and helped this man plot to kill his wife. That, like, you literally helped this man plot to kill his wife. $800 a month? Was it really worth it? Was the deed really worth it? Because it don't seem like it. Because looking at him, what? And they were saying that he had like a whole kink. And it was kind of like a kink that he had for his wife to get unalived. And she actually had her trial. So she's in prison right now. And they're trialing him because he's going to have the larger charges, because obviously he's the one that came up with the mastermind, the whole master plan to it. And why did they have her sit on the stand? She had these glasses on, trying to look all nerdy, trying to see this and that. And it's like, girl, we're not falling for this. We're literally not falling for this. A man passed away, and the wife and somebody's mother passed away because of you and this man that had a whole affair, and you were getting $800 a month just to say you were in the United States. Wow. And then they showed pictures of the relationship. They were in the hot tub and everything. Girl, was it really worth it? You could have been back in Brazil living your life, but now you're in the penitentiary system of the United States of America, probably messing around with some stud while you try to make sure you get through it, because they gave you a hefty sentence. And I won't be surprised if he gets a hefty sentence as well too. But still, I'll keep you guys updated, and I'll give like a further deep dive to that, just because I'm not trying to talk about true crime. And we're already like, what, 53 minutes within the episode? Yeah, we will talk about this when we get further developments. Now let's move on to why you should block your coworkers from your social media in general, or keep certain things private, or if you are going to do a specific craft, specifically on OnlyFans, don't show your face. Well, an NYPD rookie is now being investigated after her OnlyFans page was circulated throughout the whole precinct and shared amongst her colleagues. And a lot of people are like in between this, because also, I don't know if you guys know, I think the NYPD has like a 2-year probation period, and she's still fresh within the NYPD. I think she's only been there since like what, March 2025. So now they're having an investigation, but this actually violates their code of conduct. So every company has a code of conduct. And when it comes to the NYPD, you have to inform them that you are also getting another stream of income other than just working with them. A lot of people are like, oh, well, they probably have a different code of conduct when it comes to like social media. Yes, companies do have a social media clause as well. OnlyFans is a form of social media. I have to say that. So we don't know if the NYPD has like a social media clause, but it's kind of crazy how she's getting in trouble for this. But then we're hearing reports about some people in law enforcement that have engaged in DV, and it's crickets about that. It's crickets about that. But hey, it is what it is. All I'm going to say is block your colleagues on social media. And if you do decide to delve into the OnlyFans space, don't show your face. Don't show your face. There are plenty of people in that platform that make faceless content and are making a hefty amount of money. That's it. And also, too, is if you have a very distinct voice, don't even try that either. As somebody who has a distinct voice, you need to be careful as well, too, because people can identify you right then and there in a snap. They can identify your face or they can identify your voice. Those are the two things you need to be very mindful if you do and decide to delve within any sector of social media, but specifically that sector as well, too. And I think that also goes to show as well, it doesn't necessarily have to be her colleagues that found her page. It could literally be somebody who subscribed to her that might know a colleague, be like, oh, come and see this OnlyFans thing that I saw. And they share it, and then boom, it ends up in the hands of the colleague. But will that colleague who started to spread that, are they going to be dealt with as well too? Because you are passing somebody's nudes or somebody's work, right? Would that still qualify as like a form of revenge porn? You know what? Let me not delve and think too deep about this, but wishing the best for that young lady. But just know, if you do decide to join the NYPD, you got a 2-year probation period. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about celebrity news for this last bits of this episode. Well, teen moms Farrah Abraham has announced that she's going to run for the mayor of Austin, Texas. Girl, don't do it. Don't do it, because I know you are just giving me very much MAGA Barbie, and I can already tell by the rhetoric you're going to run under. And Austin is like the new hub for the tech industry, and very much a lot of young people are moving there. You're not going to win. Don't waste your time campaigning. We already seen what we dealt with dealing with celebrities in office. Please do not vote for Farrah. Don't vote for Farrah. Too many times y'all let celebrities be in office and it's not working out. Y'all let Arnold Schwarzenegger be the governor of California. Y'all let Ronald Reagan be president. We saw what that did. Y'all let Donald Trump be president 2 times, and look what we're going through. Don't do this. Please don't. Don't do this. And I know I can bring up the whole like Jason Lee being like the vice mayor of Stockton, but that's some vice mayor. That's something else. I'm talking about mayor. You are the head to it. No, thank you. Please don't do it. Please, if you're smart, don't do it. Then again, too, it's Texas. I don't know what to expect from you guys. But now, let's delve into more music news. I don't know if you guys know, but Kid Rock is basically having like a Rock the Country concert. And it's going to be in like certain cities throughout the U.S. A lot of country singers are going to be performing. Nelly is also included within the lineup. We know that Nelly had partnered with Tim McGraw. I think he also did a song with Florida Georgia Line. I know Jelly Roll is performing, which I'm not surprised. There's just a bunch of like country singers within too. But there was a name on there next to Nelly's that a lot of people were like, that's a little suspicious. And the name was Ludacris. Ludacris, what are you doing at the We Rock the Country show? Are you trying to let us know you MAGA? But his team tried to do this big damage control. Oh no, they never booked this. They're using his name for clout. Let's be real. Who's using Ludacris's name for clout? Who's putting Ludacris's name for this? I'm not even trying to talk about this man's legacy. Legend, yes. But still, really? I'm pretty sure they came to you guys with a big paycheck and you guys are like, you know what? This is close to those Fast and Furious movies checks, but you know, people won't pay attention to it because Nelly's right there. No. No, you have to really think about your audience before you even step into certain places, right? Think about your audience before you take a deal, before you take an opportunity. I can personally say I've had PR agents reach out to me to interview people within the MAGA community. And I've said no. I flat out said no. Some people are like, oh, you could debate them. I said no. I don't have time to waste my time for that because we're not going to agree on anything. And I've said no. This was easily, you could have detoured from this and saved yourself from PR nightmare. Because guess what? Now people are deleting the music. People don't even want to listen to it. When I move, you move, just like that. Nobody wants to listen to a move, bitch. Get out the way now. Think about it. Think about it. And when it comes to like Nelly, girl, okay, it's getting hot in here. That's it. All those songs. And let's not forget all like the drama that Nelly has had previously in the past. And it really goes on to Ashanti because then again, too, it's like, girl, this is what you married. This is what you married. But still, his team tried so badly to make it seem like, oh, they never agreed to it, when the picture is still on the official page for the concert. I don't know about right now, but the day they made that announcement, they're like, oh no, he wasn't even approved for this and this and that. It was still on the official page of that. And if they put your name on there and they never booked you and you never booked them, you should be able to sue them for messing with your reputation. You should be able to sue them for falsifying and using your name to make money. So make that make sense. So the only way I will believe that Ludacris was not booked is until he sues the Rock the Country organization and Kid Rock within to prove that he never booked it. But within that, I just think this is a PR spin. So we'll see what happens when it comes to that. But still, if you didn't book it, your name would not be in the credits. That's just my opinion. They're not going to waste their time and be like, oh yeah, we booked Ludacris. No, they wouldn't, because when they make the official announcement, they already let everybody know and inform all managerial teams for those artists and labels, hey, we're going to put this out. Can you please share this on your social media for the artists? And this is coming from somebody who worked in PR. So I read through it. Let's talk about an artist that is like, he's not afraid to say he's MAGA. He's not afraid to say that he's that. Okay. Well, Nicky Jam, we talked about Nicky Jam before. He is a reggaeton artist. He was actually born in Boston. He is Puerto Rican and Dominican. He had like a big peak within like the US market in the 2010s. Yeah, him and J Balvin, Ozuna, they really had like that commercial value within the 2010s. And when I mean commercial value, kind of like similar to what Bad Bunny is at, but not at that Bad Bunny peak. Okay, good. Now it makes sense. Well, he was saying that in an interview, he talked about faking as a Jamaican artist when he first started out in music. Just because we know at that time too, when he first started popping off, we saw a big rise in dancehall music, right? Yes, there were Spanish-based genres like reggaeton and everything like that. Yes, it was there, but it wasn't as commercialized as it is today. But a lot of people were playing dancehall songs. We heard a lot of dancehall beats. We had Sean Paul, Wayne Wonder. A lot of Jamaican artists had their little moment at that time. Dancehall music is still prevalent today. But he said that he was trying to act like he was a Jamaican artist. And there were certain things I didn't like that he said. He said, they speak bad English and I was able to imitate that. Patois is a language. It's a language. It's a language combination of very much different dialects all within together. We're not going to say bad English. Maybe you could have gotten away with this in the 2010s for saying that, but we're in a new society. We're in a huge new demographic now, right? Okay. That's the first thing. And another thing too, I want reggaeton artists can you guys please just admit the fact that without dancehall, you would not have reggaeton. Because just the most important thing is I've noticed you guys don't want to give that props to Jamaicans when it comes to that. Because honestly, without Black Panamanians who are descendants of Black Jamaicans, you wouldn't have had your genre sounding like that. Because a lot of the beats I hear in these reggaeton songs sound like dancehall songs that I've heard like 10 years ago. I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. I like old school reggaeton though. Evie Queen, Don Omar, that's what I like. This new school stuff is cute too. But I'm just saying, give props where it is. Because those were the originators. Because I remember, I don't know if you guys know the producer Russian. He is a Jamaican producer. There's a certain point he was working with reggaeton artists, and it wasn't hitting when he was working with the dancehall artists. When he was working with the dancehall artists, in a snap, that was a hit right there. But when he would do songs with those reggaeton artists, it just, yeah, I get it. It derives from the same place, but the songs were just not hitting that way. He just did a song with Molly, who's a Ghanaian artist, Haitian, who we've talked about, who is a Haitian artist but was raised in Jamaica, and Tyga. We know that Tyga is half Jamaican, and I think he's half Vietnamese. And that song is a banger. So make it make sense. But it's the fact that I saw some of you Jamaicans saying, "Oh yeah, we could take him." This man just said y'all speak bad English. Stop it. Please. Please. Just stop it. Why would you want this man? Why would you want to claim this man? This man literally voted for Trump, and Trump didn't even know that he was a man. And so, oh yeah, that Nikki is so pretty, such a pretty woman. And then when he got up on stage, it was a whole man. I'm good. This is why I prefer Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny knows the origin of his music. Bad Bunny knows what it is. And J Balvin, I'm still not over the fact that you try to claim that Afro Latino award, but then there are actual Afro Latino artists that make music in the same genre as you, and you try to claim their award. I'm not really a Nicky Jam fan. There's some songs I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what it is. But I'd rather go listen to Bad Bunny. I'd rather go listen to Ozuna. I'd rather go listen to the Puerto Rican artist before I go listen to Nicky Jam. And I know he's half Puerto Rican, half Dominican, but I could name some other artists before I even name him, okay? And one thing is, I don't play by Karol G. I don't. I'm still gonna listen to Yaleen. That's my girl. That is my girl. That Bing Bong song, that is my song. But you will not catch me listening to Nicky Jam or Anuel. Because Anuel, you're the same one of them too. Ever since you were like, oh yeah, you MAGA, this and that. I have not heard you on a song. I have not heard you on a song with an American artist or even a dancehall artist. That's crazy. Perfect. We're at our last two topics. We need to talk about Clarissa Shields. Pisces women. I don't know what it is with you guys, but these men really have you guys tweaking out. And it's not making any sense to me. But I don't want no issues with Clarissa Shields. One thing I will say, God forbid, Clarissa Shields tries to fight me, I'm calling the police on her. I'm calling the Detroit Police Department on her. The DPD. I will call the Boston Police Department. I will call the NYPD. Your hands are registered weapons. Don't touch me. Now, when it comes to her, I guess there was a YouTube channel that talks about boxing, and they were allegedly saying that she owes some money. And one thing is, Clarissa gives me very much, she's the type of person to check herself and search her mentions, regardless of what form of social media it is. Well, she got caught calling in the show, defending herself, acting as if she was a fan, but everyone could tell, girl, that's you. You can't change your voice. Clarissa has a distinct voice too. It's the fact that when you do like a YouTube call in on, regardless if it's StreamYard or even the platform that they're doing on, they have caller ID. They can tell who's calling. If you were smart enough to do it, you would have blocked your number so nobody knows your actual number or knows who's calling, or you would call another phone. If you're smart, which I'm hoping you called on another phone, because now that influencer that you called who runs that YouTube channel has your phone number. And they could tell, oh, this is Clarissa Shields' number. Even when she was talking throughout the video, you could tell that the host of the show could tell it was her. Just by his facial reactions, it's like, yeah, you're doing too much. At least he knows that the people he talks about are actually engaging with his content. This is why I tell people, regardless what you make, if you are talking about a public figure, don't be surprised if they've heard your voice before or if they've engaged with your content, even if it's audio content or visual content. Just know they have somebody from their team watching. So don't be surprised. But Clarissa does give me the type of person that probably goes on Twitter and searches her name up and everything like that. I would not be surprised at all. Just because we do know that she has been the talk of a town when it comes to her relationship with Papoose. But yeah, girl, you did not have to do that. You could have had one of your friends call in for you and gave them a whole script of what they needed to say. This is just way much more embarrassing. And once again, you are a legend in boxing. I get it. You're up here now, but you are going to be in history books. You are the first American woman, first black woman to win a medal in boxing. You are going to be in history books. And look what you're doing with your legacy. Because when I've had conversations about you with other people, they bring up you doing these antics for Papoose. And then I have to remind them, hey, you made history at the Olympics. And they're like, oh, snap, I forgot about that. That's not good, Clarissa. Oh my gosh. So let's end this just with some upcoming news. I don't know if you guys know, but Mattel, the company that owns Barbie, just launched a autistic Barbie, which basically displays of a Barbie doll with headphones and also like an iPad, which we know some people who are within that spectrum do wear headphones just due to like noises and everything like that. Well, this has people like an uproar because some people are like, well, their child has autism, but they don't have to use an iPad or a headphone. It's like, wait, do you guys not realize that the doll comes with accessories? You don't necessarily have to have your child use the accessories that come with the doll. You could just hand them the Barbie doll and be like, hey, this is representation of you. This is an autistic Barbie. But you guys have to realize there's levels to the spectrum, and they were trying to represent them all within the accessories included as well. So yes, the accessories are included, but your child doesn't necessarily have to use the accessories for them to feel like they're included, even if they don't use those accessories. I'm just saying for that. But then also, there were a group of conservatives that were up in a raw because I guess there was like a symbol in the iPad that the Barbie had, and they were like, oh yeah, they're promoting gender ideologies and all this stuff. And it's like, girl, it's a freaking doll. It's a freaking doll. It is a doll. Get over it. Let these kids have their representation. Y'all are up in arms over a doll, but the prices are going up in the grocery stores. Y'all up in arms about a doll, but will you be able to buy that doll during Christmas 2026, bitch? Leave the doll alone. Let these kids have their representation. And I'm loving the fact that Mattel is now doing this and provide that representation because let's be real, Barbie was very much a problematic doll. And the fact that there was a lack of representation specifically for that doll, and now we're seeing a short Barbie, we're seeing a plus size Barbie, we're seeing a Barbie within different spectrums and in different ideologies. We saw a Barbie with disabilities, like a Barbie with prosthetics. Now we're seeing an autistic Barbie. So just with the fact that they are growing and adjusting to this new environment, but also social construct of society, I love that. And yes, there needs to be representation for folks within the spectrum, even when it comes to the toy world. Yes, that Barbie even had a fidget spinner. I remember in 2016, you guys all had fidget spinners. So please stop it. Y'all are mad about a doll. Let these kids get this representation. God damn, get on my nerves. But you guys, thank you so much for listening to Words with Wista. You can find this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you found it is where you got to follow it. Write a review. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at It's Wista, ITSWISTA. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram at Words with Wista. You can also follow me on Substack at Words with Wista. If you have any topics that you want me to cover, send them my way. If you found something that sounds interesting, send it my way. Pitch it to me like I'm a journalist. Like you're the PR agent, I'm the journalist. Pitch it to me. If you have any constructive criticism, send it my way. In the end, it's helping me out. I'm not hurt by it. But you guys, I'll talk to you guys on a Friday. Yes. And also, happy MLK Day. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Enjoy your day off, Black people. Okay? Enjoy your day off. Just know that he had a dream. He had a dream. But you guys, I gotta let you guys go. We're on that road to episode 200. I'm so excited. Can't wait. Love you guys. Have a great night. And just know, If you're listening to this in 2028, we in the future, okay? Just know that. If you're listening to this in 2028, just know you're watching me on the big screen. But I love you guys. Bye. Mwah.